boy who used to burn it down. And those washboard gravel roads just outside of town. And that summer, a friend lost his life. And just a few summers later, I would have a wife. Oh, we were living each second like the next was not in sight. And we knew the best way to live was to never die. And we were running down our youth as if it had a bounty. 'Cause we were, oh, we were the kings of Lincoln County. And that southern comfort burned like hell. Well, I'm comfortable now, right here in my southern skin. And the only thing that burns me now is when I sit and think of how it was back then. Lord, I sit and think of how it could have been. Oh, we were living each second like the next was not in sight. And we knew the best way to live was to never die. And we were running down our youth as if it had a bounty. 'Cause we were, oh, we were the kings of Lincoln County. Well, I stole that first kiss behind that old firehouse. Then I taught her how to drink and dance. Lord, it's funny how time can change a person, turn a meant to be to another failed romance. Turn a meant to be to another failed romance. Oh, we were living each second like the next was not in sight. And we knew the best way to live was to never die. We were running down our youth as if it had a bounty. 'Cause we were, oh, we were the kings of Lincoln County. 'Cause we were, oh, we were the kings of Lincoln County.
You know, Tony, the first time I saw you play, you were playing drums with the band.
Yep.
And then I think we met somewhere along the line, maybe at the music store or something. And then the next time I saw you play, you were playing guitar, and I was going, wait a minute, is this? And to be honest, I couldn't remember your name the first time. I'm terrible with names.
Oh, it's okay.
And so I was thinking, is this the same guy that I saw playing drums last week? And then you started playing guitar, and I was thinking, dang, he's a lot better guitar player than he is drummer.
That is true.
Yeah. But yep. I tell you what, Tony, I love the way you attack the guitar. I love your guitar playing style. And I really haven't got a question about this guy. You got anything that you can just contribute here about that? I just love the way you play guitar.
I think it's kind of an adaptive thing. If you play in front of drunk people long enough, that's really loud, you have to do something to get their attention. Thus the really loud playing, and I stomp my foot a lot. I started out playing, when I started doing a lot of live shows and stuff, I would bring my kick drum. And I kind of like that, but I just felt like they see it when you bring it in. It's like,
right.
Okay, well, he's gonna play this kick drum.
Right.
You know.
Well, it's a unique act that I
Yeah.
think I've seen you play the guitar with a kick drum.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, first of all, how does anybody be coordinated enough to play the guitar, sing, and play the kick drum at the same time?
Even the halfway drummer that I am, you've got four. You got both arms and both legs moving all the time.
Yeah.
So basically the way I play guitar, and if I play my kick drum, I just imagine that this hand is on my hi-hat, this hand is on my snare, and this hand is on my foot. And that's, if I play like that, that's the way I normally go about that.
Yeah. You know, another thing that I'm impressed with you is that you have a daytime job like we all do. You play gigs. You are you run the open mic night at Magnolia Blues Barbecue here in Brookhaven, and yet you still find time to maintain a relationship with your wife.
Yep. And
write music.
Yep.
How do you juggle all that?
Well, this time of year, January, February, it's always a slow time for me. You know, when it gets into, you know, when spring hits and the landscape stuff starts hitting really hard, it'll be a different story.
Yeah.
To me, it's not that big a deal to juggle all that. If you love all those things, you figure out how to do them.
Plus, you play in another band. I mean, besides your solo act, you play in a band.
I try to play in bands.
Yeah.
Normally I get stuck on drums.
Yeah.
Like you said, not the greatest drummer.
No, I didn't imply that you weren't a good drummer.
Hey.
I just thought you were a better guitar player.
Well, I appreciate that. I'm not the world's greatest drummer. Meat and potatoes. That's what I do. You know, if you're looking for a guy that's just, I'm your guy.
Yeah.
You know, I've never really felt like the drummer's job was to be out front.
Yeah.
You know, your job is to support the guys in front of you.
Yeah.
You know, your job is to keep that time.
Yeah.
And if I kind of approach guitar the same way I play drums. I feel like every drummer should play guitar, rhythm guitar, and have to be in front and kind of feel what that feels like to have to be there, you know. Yeah.
All right, you go play another song for us here in a second, and we'll come back and talk a little bit after that next song.
Okay.
All right.
Got a ass pocket full of whiskey. I got a front pocket full of smoke. Now that old mama done kicked me out, said I can't come on no more. Hey, don't drop a match in the gasoline house. I said don't drop a match in the gasoline house. That old woman done come and kick me out. I said don't drop a match in the gasoline house. Baby, I'll play the blues for you, work my fingers to the bone. All she can say is, Daddy, well, you know, that thrill is gone. Hey, don't drop a match in the gasoline house. Said, don't drop a match in the gasoline house. That old woman done come and kick me out. I said, don't drop a match in the gasoline house. Call that old woman sleeping with another man in my bed. I came in with my sawed-off shotgun, made sure they was dead. Hey, don't drop a match in the gasoline house. I said, don't drop a match in the gasoline house. But that old woman, she don't bother me now. I said, don't drop a match in the gasoline house.
You know, Tony, I listen to your music, and you're a storyteller. And there's great storytellers that have gone before. You know, Harry Chapin is one of my favorites. Chris Christopherson. They all tell stories, and there are other people that write songs about other things. but I'm a storyteller, you're a storyteller. Where do you get your material?
Most of my stuff is personal experience. It's hard for me to write fiction. Some of it's fictional, but a lot of it's based on actual events. But I'm not one of those guys that can churn out 15 songs a month. It might be one song every 6 months. And it's not that I don't try. It's just sometimes when things feel right, they're right.
Yeah.
You know. And I've held on to ideas for 6-8 months before. Wrote stuff and put it back. Never even thought of it. Gasoline House was one of those.
Yeah.
Never wrote a blues song in my life. I'm more of a indie folk
Yeah.
type guy is what I would say if you had to put a category on it. But Gasoline House is one of those. I'd use that as an example. Wrote that in my living room in Florence. I was like, all right, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to write a blues song. And, you know, kind of drew from a little personal experience and then embellished a little bit. And I think a good songwriter could be able to do that. You know, you'd be able to.
So there's a little bit of truth in every song, but to make the story more interesting, occasionally you have to embellish the.
Some songs are like that, some are not. I'm going to say not all of them. I'll say like Kings of Lincoln County, that's all truth.
Man, I love that song.
Thank you so much.
That was the first song I remember hearing you do.
Thank you so much.
That
I
was
appreciate
usually
that.
one of your originals, and you do some great covers too, I might add. But the Kings of Lincoln County is one of my favorite songs.
Thank you.
And I really like that song.
Once again, in Florence, I one January, work was slow and I had a lot of time to write, and I just kind of, you know, I got to missing home and kind of got to thinking about, you know, a timeline, and that song covers a lot of years.
Yeah.
It doesn't cover just 2 or 3 years, it covers probably a 15-year span, you know, in one song.
Yeah, the funny thing about it is I grew up in Lincoln County, and I always thought that we were the kings of Lincoln County. And
Well, you were. You were. See, that's the thing about a song like that. It's like, okay, I'm writing this from my perspective. But the good thing about a good song is like, you can pull your perspective from that. It doesn't have to, oh, this is exactly what this song's about. You grew up here. You had a lot of the same similar experiences.
Yeah.
I mean, your song, Home, brings me to tears. And I love that song. And the reason it does is because it reminds me of a lot of my past experiences growing up in a small town.
Yeah.
And that's basically what a lot of that boils down to.
Yeah, this whole series is about musicians that have grown up in this area, and the how many really great musicians and songwriters that live in this area, that have come out of this area, and I count you as one of the better ones.
Thank you so much. It is very true. Until I moved back from where we were in Florence and the Jackson area, I'd never really realized. I mean, I knew there were people that play guitar, people whatever, but I didn't really realize how much talent was here.
Yeah.
It's incredible for a small town. We're not the smallest,
No.
but for a small town, there are a lot of people here that write incredible songs and do incredible art and contribute, you know, to the whole of Mississippi on the art scene. And it's an incredible thing to me. And when I moved back, one of my main goals was I want to be part of that.
Yeah.
You know, if there's nothing there, I want to start something. Or if there's something there already, I want to be a part of that.
Well, you certainly have done that. You've made your name in this town, and you're gigging all the time, and you're doing the thing at Magnolia Blues, and which has become a huge success.
Yeah, that was really out of nowhere. Like, Carl and I had talked about that for a while, and you know, I knew it had been successful in other places, and when I first started, I was like, okay, it's probably going to be me playing for 3 hours until I can get people.
And there were times when it was you playing for 3 hours.
There were times where it was me playing for 3 hours, yeah. and Greg Neville's, to his credit.
Right.
My friend Greg Neville's.
Yeah. Blues man.
Catfish Frogmore.
Yeah.
Blues man, and to his credit, he's got a lot of people up there. And I feel like what we're doing up there is an artistic credit to our little town. Yeah. And whatever I have to do to keep that going till I die,
Yeah.
it is fine with me.
Even out in the middle of the night, in a truck too big for me to drive, stepping out under deepest cover. We don't wanna be discovered. You and me, baby, we're going south. You and me, baby, oh, we're going south. Grab a hammer, let's build a house. You and me, baby, we're going south. You and me, baby, oh, we're going south. Hear that hill country blues from my mouth. You and me, baby, we're going south. Going back to where it all made sense. Going back to where it all began. 7 years now in the making. I'm so scared, honey, I am shaking. But you and me, baby, we're going south. You and me, baby, oh, we're going south. Grab a hammer, let's build a house. You and me, baby, we're going south. You and me, baby, oh, we're going south. Hear that hill country blues from my mouth. You and me, baby, we're going south. You and me, baby, oh, we're going south. You and me, baby, oh, we're going south. Going back to where it all made sense. Going back to where it all began. You and me, baby, we're going south. Skipped out on last month's rent. Just like my patience, it was already spent. I'm going back to where I brew my own, cultivate that good homegrown. You and me, baby, we're going south. You and me, baby, oh, we're going south. Grab a hammer, let's build a house. You and me, baby, we're going south. You and me, baby, oh, we're going south. Hear that hill country blues from my mouth. You and me, baby, we're going south.
Tony, it's been a pleasure having you here in my living room here on the Shady side.
It's a beautiful place to be.
Well, thank you, man. And it's we're looking forward to having more episodes coming from here, and introducing you to some more of the local talent that we have in this town. I'm awfully glad that you were able to come with us tonight.
It's a thrill. I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to be part of the first run of this.
Yeah, you
Makes
are.
me very happy.
I appreciate it, buddy.
Thank you so
You're the
much.
man. Join us again on Music from the Shady Side.